Okay, I wanted to create a video about how to navigate your way around the Blackboard page for this class. Um, for this class, we deal with three online portals. There's Blackboard, there's MindTap, and then there's SAM. My belief is that negotiating your way around the technology for a class should not be so difficult. And so I really try hard to make sure that it's not. So hopefully if you follow what I'm kind of going to go over right now in this video, it will help you get through everything you need to do for this class. Like I said, there's Blackboard, there's MindTap, and there's SAM. I don't like dealing with three portals because I just think it makes everything really confusing. So what I do, and it takes a lot of work, but hopefully it makes things a lot easier for you guys. I create links in Blackboard that take you where you need to go in MindTap, where you need to go in SAM to do the things that are required for this class. That's my goal. So like the textbook is in MindTap, but the tests are in SAM. So it just gets really confusing, and I don't think you all need any more confusion in your life than you already have. So I create these links to get you where you need to go. You should never, for this class, you should never have to roam around MindTap. You should never have to roam around SAM. If you're doing that, there's a very good chance you could take the wrong test, and it won't, if you take the wrong test, you'll get a 0 on the test that I want you to take. So please use the links that I give you, and I'm going to go over this video a little bit about what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go to the class. So just for future classes, I'm making this video for the fall 2020 class. If I use this video again, just remember this is fall 2020. Everything should be the same, but if not, just remember this is a different semester. So like this is going to look different. So anyway, I'm going to click on this, and this will take me to the class. Now what I do is when you open this up, this is going to take you automatically to readings, trainings, and tests. And you'll see I have a link for it over here. Just because this is where you're going to go for the most part. But let me start off up at the top. The top is homepage and announcements. This is where, if I have an announcement, this is where I'll post it. Again, there's an announcement here that class is canceled tonight. That's not for anybody that's not in my fall 2020 class. There's a fire on 65 and I had to cancel class. So just remember, if you're not in the fall 2020 class, your class is not canceled. All right, so announcements, and again, this is where I would create the announcement for this class. All right, grade book. I mentioned in the syllabus that the grade book in Blackboard is the official grade book for this class. So if I click on grade book, you'll see these are all of the things that are going to be required for this class. Not necessarily required, I guess I should say that, because you'll see, like for Word, I've got SAM Exam 1, SAM Exam 2, SAM Exam 3. Those are the 3 exams for Word. But I also have this Word Module 1 SAM project. Those projects are only the makeup assignments. So you'll see that there's a makeup assignment for Word, there's a makeup assignment for Excel, there's a makeup assignment for Access, and there's a makeup assignment for Project. And there's probably a preliminary test makeup. So any of those, you may get you may look over here and you see that you got a 0 on it. Those are not calculated into the grades. If you need to do one of the makeup assignments, what I do is, like, let's suppose you miss one of the word tests. If you miss one of the word tests, you can do this project, and whatever grade you get on that, I will replace the word project or the word test with. So if you get an 82, if you get a 0 on Word Module 1 because you didn't take it, and you do the makeup project and you get an 82, I go through later on and replace this 0 here with the 82 that you got here. Now, if you don't do any of the makeup projects, which hopefully you won't have to do because you don't miss any of the tests, you may end up seeing a 0 or something over here. Don't worry about that if it's on one of the projects, because you only have to worry about those if you missed one of the tests. So the things, the 13 tests that you really need to worry about are the 2 preliminary tests, and then we've got oh, I need to make these go away. I'll make these disappear. I've got the Word Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, Excel Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, Access Module 1 and 2, and then PowerPoint Modules 1, 2, and 3. So those are the things that are going to be required for this test, for this class. Again, you'll see that I have these are not supposed to be here. I'll make these go away. All right, so that's the grade book. And again, the grade book in Blackboard is the official grade book. If you go around and you start looking in MindTap and stuff like that, it has its own grade book, and you'll see like a bunch of zeros for like trainings and stuff like that. Those are not included. You can do the trainings, but they're not included in my class, so don't worry about any of those. All right, so moving on. Syllabus and class schedule. I handed this out, or probably handed this out in the first day of class. If you need another copy of it, you can go here and click it, and this is where you can get another copy of the syllabus and the class schedule. All right, next one down. Install Google Chrome. I really suggest using Google Chrome as far as the browser for this class. The reason is I found it to be the most stable and the one that works the best for this class. It seems to have as few hiccups as possible. Firefox also works good. I have not heard any complaints about Safari. Do not use Internet Explorer. It just causes more problems than it's worth. So if you don't have Google Chrome, I created a link here that will take you where you need to go to install Google Chrome. Okay, so another thing that you need to do, and when we go into test, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about, is the tests are open up in pop-ups. So you need to make sure that your pop-up blocker is turned off as far as this class goes. So to disable the pop-up blocker, I got some instructions. I think these are older instructions, so I'll find newer instructions and include those. But to disable the pop-up blocker, what you're going to do is you're going to go over here and you're going to click these 3 dots on the Chrome page. Click on these. You're going to go to Settings, and then from here you're going to go to Privacy and Security, and then Site Settings, and then from here you're going to go down to Pop-ups and Redirects. Click on that, and here is the pop-ups and redirects. You should see what you probably see this. You probably see that it's turned off. What I want you to do is turn it on, and this will allow pop-ups so that you can take the test and stuff. So that's kind of important. And I'm going to have a practice test for you guys to do, because I want to make sure that you guys can take the test on any computer that you need to. So like if you're taking it, on one computer, and then something happens to that computer and you need to go to another computer, you're probably going to have to turn off the pop-up blocker on that computer. So and if you need to, you can do this practice test just to make sure that everything is good to go. And I'll get to that. All right, I'm going to go back to content, and that's Google Chrome. One of the things that I want you guys to do is take a syllabus test. This is just a 10-question syllabus test. There's nothing fancy about it. You can just have the syllabus beside you. It's a 10-question true and false syllabus test. It's just one of these things where I want to make sure that you've read the syllabus. So take that. It's very important that you take this as soon as possible, because there's a very good chance, I'm going to click on this ahead of time, readings, trainings, and tests. It says if you see nothing here, take the syllabus test until you get 100. So it's set up so where like none of these things will show up until you take the syllabus test and get 100. Once you do that, the rest of these things are going to show up. So take the syllabus test as soon as you can. Keep taking it until you get a 100 on it. And like I said, once you get a 100, all of these things will appear. All right, so that's the syllabus test. Class files, I'll discuss that in a little bit. Let's see, I'm going to go on to readings, trainings, and tests. This is, like I said, this is the most important part. This is where you'll be doing most of the work for this class. And And I try everything that I can to make this as easy as I possibly can. So you see I've gotten this broken down into 5 sections, the preliminary chapters, which are chapters 1 through 5, and then I have the Word modules, the Excel modules, the Access modules, and the PowerPoint modules. Everything is kind of grouped together, and they're all kind of set up the same way. So let's just suppose that we're in Word. So if I click on this Microsoft Word, up here at the very top you'll see Microsoft Word Test. These are where all of the tests are that you're going to take. I'll come back to that in a second. But let's just look at Word Module 1. So I'm going to click on that, and this has like a few things. This first one is the textbook. So this takes you to the text, the online text for this class for Word Module 1. This takes you to the training for Word Module 1, and this is just some extra stuff that you can read up on to learn more about some Word stuff. So I'm just going to click in the textbook, and you'll see that it kind of flashes for a second, and then it's going to open up in a new window. And eventually it will take me to Module 1 of the Word chapters in the text. And so here it is. So here's, I guess I'd already been on here before, but like here's Word Module 1. Now, one of the things that I like about this text is every module has like this little step-by-step project that you can do that kind of reinforces what they're going over in that book or in that module. So like for this one, they're going to create this flyer. So in Word Module 1, if you follow these step-by-step things, you're going to eventually end up with a flyer that looks really similar to this. Now, I'll show you how you get there. Now you see there's these little squares with numbers on it. These are the steps. So like step 1, run Word to create a blank document. Step 2, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually you go on, and it's like here's videos about how to do some of the stuff that we're doing. We're moving on. Now we got a new type to text. So number 1 here is type surfs up, and it gives you an example. There it is with surfs up. So if you don't know how to do some of the stuff that's covered in these modules, please do this step-by-step stuff. If you call me up and if you send me an email and you ask me a question about some of these things, I'm going to ask you, have you done the step-by-step stuff? Because to me, that's very, very helpful to do these things. Now, one of the things that we need to do, and I'll go ahead and get this going because sometimes it takes a bit, is we'll go back a couple of pages where we saw that this flyer. So most of this is just typing, which you can do, but there is this picture, and so we need to download this picture. So here's where this picture comes from. And so what you may want to do is create a folder on your desktop to do this, and I'll kind of show you how to do that. So I'm going to go over here, back to content, back to the page, and I'm going to go to download text data files. Download text data files. And download student data files. Now this like I said, sometimes this download takes a little bit. So I may come back to it in a second. So I'm going to click this link, which will take me off to where I need to go to download the stuff for this book. So here's the book that we're using. I'm going to go to data files. And let's just say I want to do Word. So here's the data files for Word. Word modules 1 through 3 data files. I'm going to click on this. And like I said, it takes a while for this to load. So I'll come back to this in a second. Hopefully it'll be there. So we'll go back to content, and I'm going to go back to readings, trainings, and tests. So that's how you do like the online stuff for this. So let me show you how to do the test. So here again, I'm in Word. I'm going to go to Microsoft Word test, and let's just suppose I want to do the first test. So I'm going to click on this. Again, it's going to click around a little bit. And eventually we'll get to this page. I'm going to slide this over because I don't need to see any of this. So this will take you to the Word Module 1 SAM exam. And so here's a little bit of information. Incorrect actions allowed per performance task. So it may tell you to do something, say like take this text and make it bold. If you italicize it, it's going to say you got it wrong. Do you want to try again? So you get 3 opportunities to take each task. Can the exam be retaken? Yes. Retakes allowed? 2. So you can take it up to, you get 1 time and then 2 retakes. So that's a total of 3 times. Retakes remaining, 2. So I haven't taken it yet. So I'm going to click on Start, just to kind of show you how this works. Click on Start. And this is the pop-up that I was talking about. This is why you have to have pop-ups enabled so that this works. And so this is like how to do the test. And sometimes I'll make these things a little bit bigger. So here's the first one to go. Task instructions. Resize the picture at the beginning of the document to a height of 1.8 inches by 1.8 inches. So I'm going to click on this. And there's my picture tools. I'm going to go to here and then size. And I'm going to say 1.8. I'm just going to minimize this to 1.8 by 1.8. And then it says the answer is correct, advancing to the next task. Now, let's see. Apply shadow picture effects offset center to the picture. Let's see. I'm going to click this. Again, format, styles, whoops, picture tools. Picture effects, shadow, offset center. Let's see if this is offset center. See, I just put my mouse over it and it should flash up. Oops, I'm sorry. Shadow, boom, offset center. And see, answer correct, and it moves on to the next one. This next one I'll get wrong to kind of show you. Apply picture style perspective shadow white to the picture. So I'm going to click on this, and I'll try to do it wrong again. Just do something crazy. Boom. And it says it's wrong. Do you go to the next task or retry it? Now, if I go to the next task, it will take me on to the next task. But at the very end, it's going to ask me, or it's going to make me come back to the one that I skipped. So you're going to get all 3 shots at it. It's going to make you do all 3 shots to take the test. Excuse me. So that's how you take a test in Blackboard. And like I said, there are 13 of these. The first 2 tests are matching kind of tests, so matching kind of questions. So it may not give you 3 shots at that. You may have to do to do the test 3 times to get your 3 shots. Just because like some of the questions are true-false, so it's not going to give you 3 shots at a true-false question. You can take the test 3 times. You just can't get 3 shots at each question in a test. So that's how to do a test in Blackboard. So I'm going to go. Yeah, I don't want to close it. I'm going to go back over here to Blackboard. So that's readings, trainings, and tests. If you need to do a makeup project, again, I really advised against this because, especially, well, all of them. I don't grade any of this stuff. It's all done by the computer. And these projects are very, very, very difficult. I've included in my video section, which for some reason I don't see, but you will see it. I thought I saw it earlier. Wonder where it went. All right. There'll be a video section up here in a minute. But one of the things that that you need to do, and this is really, so if I click on this, and it's going to take me again to Sam. And I click on Start, and again I get 3 submissions. I click on Start, and things that I've got to do is I've got an instruction file and a start file. So I'm going to need to download both of these. So I'm going to click on, I'll just click on this to download it and open it up. So this is my start file. I'll go back here again and click on my instruction file. And I will open it up. And so these are the instructions that I have to follow for this document. And at the very end, it will show you what this document is supposed to look like when you're done. It'll look like this. Now, like I said, I don't grade this. This is graded by a computer, so it's very, 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 very picky. If it tells you to type something and you put 2 spaces in between a word instead of 1, it's going to say that you got it wrong. I don't have anything to do with that. This is why I tell you, please take the test when you're supposed to take the test, and you never have to deal with these things. They're really a pain in the butt. One of the things you really need to pay attention to is this very beginning. It says getting started. Open the file, scwd16 2a first name 1 docx. That is this file, scwd16 2a Chris Brewer _1. And what you're going to do, enable editing, sign. Let's see, I don't care about signing in. One of the things you need to do is first thing you need to do is just save file as scwd _2a. I'm sorry, 2a first name last name, and you're going to change this 1 to a 2. So I'm going to go through and do file, save as, and you see that I have this thing saved as 1, or you see that up here at the very top you see 1, and what I'm going to do is just go through and change that 1 to a 2, and then save it, and now it's got the correct name, and I can do this. This has got to be done, because when you try to upload it, it won't upload unless you do that. So, and I'll show you how to do this. I'm going to click on, and this is going to be completely wrong, but I'm just going to save file, save as, and I've already saved it with this name, and just so I can get to it, because I want to know where I'm saving it. I'm going to save this into new folder, text book. You know what, I'm going to save this in a completely different. I'm going to do more options. I'm going to save this to my desktop. And I'm just going to save it to my desktop. I think it's saved somewhere. Let's see. There it is. So here's that document. So now, when I get done with this thing, I'm going to save it like I just did. So I'll get all the way through the end of these instructions, and everything looks good. And just going to make sure that I save it. Everything looks like it's supposed to do. Once I get it saved, I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to hit continue, and I'm going to click here or drag and drop. So I'm going to take this document that I created. Here, it's right here. This is where I saved it to my desktop. So here it is. And I'm just going to drag it here and drop it, and then hit submit. And then view reports. Now this is probably going to be hideous because I didn't do anything to it. So I'm going to click on this, and you see I got everything wrong. So it tells you what you got right and what you got wrong. And the test will do this too. I mean, you can look at the test and see what you got right and what you got wrong before you take it a second time. So that's that. That's if you need to do a project. I'm going to go back to this, and that's readings, trainings, and tests. So that's pretty much everything you need to do. Make a project. PowerPoints for this for this class. If I were giving this class, if I were doing this as an in-class class, I would be using some of these PowerPoints. So here's like the PowerPoints for Word Module 1. So you have access to the PowerPoints that I would be using for this class. So that's kind of handy to have. And let's see. This is what I was looking for, lecture videos. These are the videos that I was talking about earlier. So these are the videos. I've created videos for every, if you look on the schedule, everything except for where it says self-study, I have a video for it. So Word Module 1, there's a video for that. I've got 2 for Word Module 2, Module 2.1 and 2.2, just because it's kind of a big section. So these are like videos. So if you click on this, it'll take you to YouTube, and you're going to watch a video of me, what I would do if this were an actual lecture.
Okay.
So don't need that. Let's see. Let's look and see how our. Let's see if this thing downloaded. I'm going to go to File Explorer, Downloads. Still don't see the downloads. I'm going to see if, for some reason these downloads don't seem to be working. Oh, here they are. Okay, I think. Download now. I guess it had to go to a different. Let's see if this works. I'll figure out what's going on with this because it doesn't seem to be working. Let me figure out what's happening with it. Lecture videos, Sam help. If you have any issues with Sam, this will give you some, like here is a technical support number. So if you have any issues as far as Sam goes, MindTap, those kinds of things, I'm not tech support for those. You may need to call this number. It's kind of a pain in the butt, I know, considering what I just went through to get this class set up. It is kind of a pain in the butt. And there's some help for Blackboard. If you have any questions on any of this stuff, just shoot me an email. And again, make sure you please include the subject, the class information in the subject line, because it's so easy to lose emails. Considering how many emails I get per day from school, please include class information. It's really important. It helps me find student emails and makes my life a lot easier, and it's going to make me getting the answer back to you a lot easier too. So that's this video. If you shoot me an email if you have any questions. Have a good day. Talk to you later.